97, 98, 99, 100. That's it. 111, 112, 113.
Michael, what are you doing?
Trying to get abs, man.
Just eat less.
What?
Oh, hi people. Today I want to do one video on abs. I want to talk about everything you need to know because 1-minute Instagram videos is not going to work for this. I want to talk about diet, I want to talk about training, and I want to talk about how you can get abs, regardless whether you're a skinny boy like me or you're 200 pounds, 40% body fat. I want to give you kind of the tools and really just kind of go through all the questions I get and just break down how to get abs and the truth behind abs. Alright, now first things first, I want to go over 2 questions that I think are going to set a baseline for the video. The first one is, does everyone have abs? And the answer is yes. Unless you're some sort of weird human being who doesn't possess the actual musculature of the abs, then yes, everybody has the ab muscles. The second question, which is going to give you a baseline for this video, is can everybody get abs? And my advice for that is I think so. I think everybody has the ability to get abs. They just don't believe they ever will if they're kind of at a higher body fat percentage. But when it comes down to it, everyone can get abs. And I was trying to think of a good way to show this. And I was in the shower and I was like, you know who got abs, who I didn't think would ever get abs? Big Show. I don't know if you guys know who Big Show is, but Big Show is a professional wrestler. Here's a picture of Big Show in his heyday. And here's a picture of Big Show 2017, 2018 with actual huge abs. Now, Big Show was billed at 500 pounds. He wasn't actually that heavy, but for someone with that much body fat right there, to actually strip down and have abs like that, I'm impressed, and that should motivate you guys if you're, not as big as him, but that sort of body type going to try to get abs. Now, I just wanna initially give you some quick advice if you don't have time to watch the whole video. I'm gonna give you 3 different body types. If you're a skinny boy like me, okay, you probably can see your abs. You probably have little body fat and you're wanting to kind of make them pop out more, or you want to get a better physique, or maybe they don't stick out as much despite the fact that you can see them. My advice for you, start going to the gym, start training your entire body, start training your abs 1 to 2 times a week, and start eating more food. So be in a caloric surplus. This is going to work for a number of reasons. You're not only going to build up more muscle overall, but you are going to start building up your ab muscles as well. And there's no sense just being a super lean dude with abs and no other muscle groups developed. Secondly, if you are someone who's overweight or you have a high percentage of body fat and you've never seen your abs in your life, my advice for you, go to the gym, start lifting weights or continue lifting weights. If you're new, you will start burning fat off, even if you're eating, maintenance calories, because you are going to increase your muscle mass. That's going to increase your metabolism. But my advice for you, if you're on the heavier side of things, be in a caloric deficit, eat less calories than your body burns a day, and add in a couple cardio sessions a week to really accelerate your fat loss and help you with the ability to not have to cut your calories so much. So you can cut your calories down a bit, and then adding in more cardio will allow you to kind of stay at a reasonable deficit with how much food you're eating. And lastly, we have the skinny fat person. Now, this is kind of the tricky person. My advice for them is if they want abs, if you want abs and you haven't really trained much in the gym, you could probably get away with literally eating however you eat right now, go to the gym, build some more muscle. Your body will self-adjust, recomposition, because you're building more muscle, increase metabolism. But if you really kind of want to help your progress more, a slight deficit if you're skinny fat is going to help as well. So when it comes down to it, the general idea of everything I talked about there was diet. Diet, guys, okay? Every day I get a question, Pickering Fitness, what ab exercises should I do to get abs? And then I used to give them the whole diet answer, but then I'm like, can you see your abs? And they're like, oh no. So I'm like, you need to eat less food. Just like Michael had in the beginning part of the video. You need to eat less calories, burn more on a daily basis, that's gonna cause your body fat to go down, which will then allow your abs to pop out. Okay, so the abs are gonna make up 3 primary muscles. Now the first one is the classic one that everyone knows about. It's called the rectus abdominis, right here. And the rectus abdominis is kind of the thing that gives you the 6-pack look. And its primary function is pretty much to flex your torso, so to bring your upper body and your lower body together. That's primarily what people think about when they want to get abs. But there are some other groups as well, like the obliques. Now the obliques are on the side here. Their primary function is, you know, slightly to flex the torso, but also to rotate the torso, as well as like laterally flex it, like when you do side bends. There's 2 different muscles there. There's the internal and the external. They're on top of each other and they run opposite each other, but it doesn't really matter that much about the details. And then the last one is the transverse abdominis. That is the one that kind of like holds your core together. So imagine when you're doing a squat, that like internal pressure, the internal like tightness, that's your TVA, your transverse abdominis. And that's primarily just to kind of like hold yourself together. So whilst that will be less likely to kind of like show off, you still want to have a strong core for just general health and general performance in the gym. Okay, so I initially just want to talk about how to kind of like fix your diet in terms of getting down to see your abs. Now, first thing you got to do is you got to figure out your basal metabolic rate, or the amount of calories your body burns a day to maintain the weight. Now, there are tons of great calculators online. I can't give you a formula right now, I'm not a scientist, but go online, type in daily calorie calculator, or if you want to do the best option, go online, type in Ketch-McArdle equation, or third option, go to your app store, download an app called Mike's Macros. Now this is Gary Vee's trainer, or his ex-trainer. He made an app. It has a great calculator on there to figure out your basal metabolic rate, or your daily calories, keeping in mind your body fat percentage with a picture to show you which body fat percentage you kind of fall under. So figure that out. Those are your 3 options. Once you have that number, and you better get that number, that's the most important part I need you to do. Take that number. Then you're going to be in a caloric deficit. So I like to start 500 calories below that maintenance number. Now, once you have that, that's the amount of calories you're going to consume on a daily basis to slowly, gradually, and effectively burn off the body fat to get down to being able to see your abs. Now, a couple quick tips. You can maybe increase that number by a bit and throw in some cardio sessions, so you're able to eat more food but still be in the same amount of a deficit by burning off some calories during cardio. Or you could also just like keep your calories at that level and do some more cardio and kind of accelerate weight loss even more. But just be careful not to drop your calories too low, because energy levels will go down, performance will go down, and like you won't be able to sustain that. And at the end of the day, consistency and sustainability is what's going to keep you seeing long-term progress, because like you can give up halfway through with some amazing diet and lose less weight than if you kept some sustainable mediocre diet that allow you to burn off all your body fat. When it comes to setting up your macronutrients or your protein, fats, and carbs for a cut, my advice for you is stick with 1 gram to 1.5 grams per pound of your body weight of protein, simply because it's not only going to help you maintain muscle mass when you're, you know, in a caloric deficit, but it's also going to keep you fuller. Protein always like makes you feel full, so this will help you with this will help you not overeat. And then there's something called the thermic effect of food, which means that your body's going to use calories to digest food, and protein requires the most amount of calories in your body to break down. So consuming more calories kind of makes your body work harder, if that makes sense, which then leads to more of a deficit. Keep those tips in mind, and let's kind of move on to training. But you need to be in a caloric deficit. So figure out that number and get back to me, and then go watch the training part of this video. Now, let me just preface this whole training part. Do not watch this part of the video assuming that if you can't see your abs right now, that training your abs is gonna make you shredded, okay? That's not gonna happen. This is for those who want to build up their ab muscles, knowing that later down the line when they cut down, their abs will be more visible. For those who want to strengthen their abs, and for those who might want to kind of like see if they can make them blockier so they might appear at a higher body fat percentage. But you need to get down, you need to cut down before you actually start training them to see them, okay? Keep that in mind. Let's go. Okay, so first things first, I'm just gonna answer a couple questions in terms of training. So, first question from Maddie is, are ab workouts helpful at all if I can't necessarily see my abs yet? And that was directly what I just answered 2 seconds ago. And the point is, don't train your abs hoping to get abs. Okay, train your abs because you want to strengthen them and because you want to kind of make them appear blockier for when you cut down. But yes, please, everyone out there, train your abs like every other muscle group. My advice to you is, I don't know, 1 to 3 times per week. They are smaller, so they will recover faster, and you can train them multiple times a week. So treat them like any other body part and just train them once a week or a couple times. What kind of ab exercises should you be doing? You can do some weighted stuff and some body weight stuff. I'm gonna cover both in the clips following. There was a lot of questions on like, how do I make them blockier? How do I make them bigger? Same basic principle as biceps or chest, basically just hypertrophy, I don't know. Training your abs through hypertrophy, which means increasing muscular size. So just building up volume, building up strength. They will appear blockier if you train them. What kinds of ab exercises should I be doing? So like I talked about in the kind of the anatomy thing, you do want to be doing like something for your lower abs, something for your upper abs, and something for your obliques, and something for your TVA to fully develop your abs. But it's really also going to come down to like, what do you need to work out? For me, I have very like, I guess, visible upper abs and like not so visible lower abs. So maybe I should do more lower ab stuff if I want to kind of fully develop it, but it's really going to come down to you. But at the end of the day, you need to train everything as a whole. Okay, so now let's get down to actual practical exercises for the different parts of the abs. And firstly, we're going to talk about the lower abs. Now, the lower abs are going to be primarily trained through bringing your legs closer to your torso. So stuff like leg raises, as you can see here. Now, I personally find leg raises to be really hard. I don't know why, maybe I just have weak abs, but you can try them out with your knees bent or your legs out in front. So another one of my favorites here, I learned from Jeff Nippard, it is a reverse crunch. So pretty much you put your butt on a bench, stick your feet in the air, stick your body in the air, and you pretty much like crunch, try to bring them both together. This one actually is really kind of like tough and it really hurts. And if you want to increase the intensity, you could put a 10-pound dumbbell between your feet and do it that way. I really found that like this really worked my lower abs without having to like have to hang from a bar and do leg raises. Now next we have decline crunches. Now personally, I don't actually like decline crunches this much. I always find that my hip flexors do most of the work, and the next day my hip flexors are just so sore and my abs don't feel much. But a quick tip to kind of like get the most out of this exercise is focus on the actual crunching part as opposed to just kind of bringing your hips together. So you can come up at the top and then almost like flex your spine forward and get kind of a crunch, and that will really work. If you want to increase the intensity, you can put your hands behind your head, or if you want to kill yourself even more, you can get something like a dumbbell, a plate, or a ball and hold it behind your head. Keep in mind that when something is like extended behind here, this is going to be the most difficult, whereas like you can have the ball here and still kind of get a good resistance out of it. Now there isn't really much difference between like training your upper and lower abs. Some of these are supposed to be for your lower abs, and I find they train my upper abs, so I'm just going to give you my opinion, but feel free to try them yourself and see where you feel it the most. Now this one I learned from Mike Thurston. You should go watch his videos, guys. He's a great guy. And I really like this one. A lot of ab exercises are kind of weird for me, but this one I like. So I don't know what the name of it is, but you pretty much set yourself up as I am on the bench here. Put your hands behind holding onto the bench, and you just sort of crunch upwards and really feel it in my upper and my lower abs. And then you slowly let yourself back down. Now, when it comes to difficulty level, what you can do here is you can set the bench lower or higher. The higher it goes, the higher difficulty it's gonna be, because you have to almost like go 90 degrees up in the air. But I really like this one. We also have the rope crunch. Now personally, I don't do the rope crunch. I find the rope crunch to be really, really awkward. I never really feel it. I think I felt it today because I was trying to do it properly, but pretty much get a rope, put it behind your head, and just sort of like have a little bit of flexion in the middle of your back. Don't round your lower back, but you kind of want to crunch forward with the weight, and really you'll know it if it works, if you feel it in your abs. Try that one out. And then lastly, I just did one for the obliques. So the obliques are mainly trained during like trunk rotation or like anti-rotation, if that makes sense. So either resisting rotation or rotating. It'll be the opposing muscle groups of the obliques that will do one or the other. And this one's called the Russian twist or the Mason twist. I pretty much sit on my butt, back in the air, feet in the air, and I don't let the ball touch the ground, and you pretty much just rotate from side to side, really just feeling it in the side of your abs. Do that one. When it comes to sets and reps and stuff, if you're a beginner, you may not be able to do that many reps of ab exercises, and you may not be able to do that many sets. So starting off, I'd say maybe like 1 to 3 sets, and then if you're a beginner, do as many reps as you can do for each exercise. Now, when it comes to weighted ones, stick with the same kind of hypertrophy rep range. So 6 to 12 for weighted exercises, such as the crunches or the ab rollout, which you see here. The ab rollout is really, 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 really hard. Be careful, I can't even do it from my feet. I have to do it from my knees here, but that one is very tough, but very, very effective. Do that one. And then when it comes to body weight stuff, you can do like 10 to 20 reps, even, 40 reps. For the Mason twists or the Russian twists, I will end up doing 40 reps, 20 on each side, and that really just like helps. So when it comes to those, weighted, something like hypertrophy 6 to 12, body weight anywhere from 10 to 40 reps, depends on the exercise. And then when for sets and reps, or for sets, start with 3, but work up to 5 if you're more advanced when it comes to abs, and take as much rest as you need, because abs training is hard. All right, I have 2 final questions before I go into a little Q&A with Michael at the end here. And the 2 questions were kind of like less so about training, less so about everything. It was just sort of like interesting ab questions. The first one is it true that women need more testosterone in order to get their body and their abs cut? And the answer is somewhat, okay? Because of just biology, women are gonna have more estrogen and more body fat in general. So when it comes down to it, women will have to try harder to get to the same leanness as guys do. Like when it comes to testosterone, yeah, that will help you with burning fat, and estrogen is kind of more like a holding on to fat hormone. So it will be harder for women to do it. To be totally honest, if you're a girl and you don't naturally have like a super, super lean physique, when you get to the level of having abs, it may actually not be that healthy for you to sustain a body type where you actually have abs. So keep that in mind, ladies, and as much as you kind of want that super duper lean physique, most females who have the super chiseled abs aren't natural. Keep that in mind. And the last question I had here about kind of abs in general was, does the ab shape come from any specific training program, or is it all genetics? And it's pretty much genetics. I'll give you 2 examples here. We have Mr. Christian Guzman and we have Mr. Ryan Terry. They both have amazing abs, but they both have like very, very different ab styles. Guzman's more like larger, kind of like less of the 6-pack look, whereas Ryan Terry's got kind of like rectangles, just symmetrical rectangles all the way down his body. So that's gonna be genetics, but I guess you could technically sort of develop your abs in different ways. And, let's say you don't have much upper abs, train some more upper abs, you can kind of like balance things out, but pretty much genetics, like every other muscle group. All right, and then I just wanted to kind of go into like a practical kind of like Q&A with Michael at the end. I was just like, Michael, what are your questions for me about abs? Hopefully you guys kind of like get something from this and kind of like learn a bit from like someone else who has questions about abs. check it out. What's your question, Mike? If you do weighted ab exercises, will they pop out more?
Yes.
Yes, because they're just any other muscle, increasing their size will increase the amount they pop out. But you still need to get leaner to have them pop out more and more, but potentially training them while you're fat could make them pop out a tiny bit more at a higher body fat percentage.
What's the best cardio for body fat?
The one you're gonna sustain and keep doing.
Do I need to go really fast on the bike if I'm gonna lose fat?
No, you need to go however much you can do and sustain. So if you want to go 40 minutes pedaling on a bike, go ahead. If you want to walk for 40 minutes, go ahead. But do more than like one session a week.
Does adding more resistance on the bike or incline on the treadmill make a significant change when it comes to losing body fat? Or is it more important just sustaining?
It won't make a huge difference, but it will increase the intensity, which could then lead to slightly more calories burned, probably. But don't rely on that as your main way to lose body fat to get abs.
Are all maybe weight loss magic pills helpful?
No.
Keep you awake.
No.
So there's no product in GNC that will make me lose all this body fat just by taking it.
Is this your fat burner question?
Yes.
Like, no, fat burners will give you a little bit of caffeine, which might blunt your appetite, make you move throughout the day, and slightly increase your metabolism. But if you're using a fat burner and you're eating too much, you're still not gonna lose weight.
Should I cut my carbs out significantly?
No, you should cut your calories, not your carbs, because you may end up like going from like this down all the way here in terms of energy levels and performance when you cut your carbs. You might lose weight because you're going to lose a lot of water weight when you cut your carbs, because each gram of carbs holds onto water. So cutting carbs causes weight loss, but not technically fat loss all the time.
If I don't eat a lot as often, or if I don't get like good meals in, let's say I only get 2 meals in a day and they're way under calories and I'm losing weight, most of the time will that mainly be muscle if I'm not getting like a high amount of protein in?
If you're consistently under eating like a lot of calories, then like you'll start burning off muscle. But if it's like 1 or 2 days, you know, randomly, then no.
So on a regular basis, you would recommend so low on calories?
No, you need to be like, I would say like no more than 500 calorie deficit below your maintenance to start cutting. Like any less and you won't be able to sustain it, you'll be hungry, you'll probably end up binging, and you also won't have enough energy. And then like at the time when you drop your calories so low, your body's gonna be like, we don't even have enough energy to like start burning fat, so we're just gonna like turn off half your fucking body and ruin your life.
How much of a difference is when it comes to really looking deeply into your fats and your calories, and your carbs and protein, and making sure it's like a balanced ratio? How significant is that, or is that something that's more of a kind of like professional bodybuilding?
For what? That you're
like when they like with the MyFitness app, I've noticed that there's like any kind of percentages and goals to hit. So hitting those goals will significantly benefit you in terms of weight loss and maintaining muscle.
Significantly, like hitting your caloric requirements for the day is the most important part for energy balance and like body composition. But if you're talking about like differences between like carbs, fats, and protein ratios, then that's slightly less important. So like if you have 40% protein, that's less important than you like, you know, hitting a certain amount of calories per day.
And then in terms of deficit, when it comes to fat burning, is it I use the calories I burn that are shown on like whatever cardio I'm doing to help me figure out what kind of deficit I'm at when it comes to like burning calories?
I mean, you can use like the treadmill stuff, but like that's a very rough thing because it doesn't take into account your body fat, doesn't take into account like your body's ability to like burn calories or like your activity level, anything like that. So when it comes to like looking at calorie burning on the treadmill or machines, I don't know. Like you can use it as a guideline each day. Like each day you can be like, oh, I went and did 300 calories on the treadmill. So like using the same measure every day can keep you consistent, but don't use those as like good examples of how many calories you burned.
So increasing the cardio, but also maintaining but ideally one of the most important factors is maintaining that good protein, so I don't lose a lot of muscle mass. That's correct?
Well, yeah. So what you want to do is, if you're gonna cut, you want to like burn some body fat. You want to be like anywhere from like 1 gram to 1.5 grams per pound of your body weight, and then still make sure you're not like eating in a surplus. So good things that protein is going to do when you're cutting is maintain muscle mass, keep you fuller, and potentially increase like the amount of calories burnt, if that makes sense, because protein is broken down in your body with calories. So your body like uses some calories to digest food, and protein is the most like calorically requirement. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but you get it. Your body requires more calories to burn protein or break down protein than carbs or fats. So eating more protein will allow your body to kind of like burn more calories. That makes sense.
In terms of ab development, would be doing a lot of weighted ab exercises help being able to do more sit-ups with more volume when it comes to different ab exercises?
Michael, does doing more bench press cause you to do more volume of other chest exercises?
Yes. There you go. There you go. That was a simple one. That was a simple
There you go.
That was a simple
Yes,
one.
doing more ab exercises will lead you to be able to do more ab exercises. Michael, this is not a peace, love, and tranquility. Can we zoom out from this angle?
Oh man. I'll add a question. I think that's probably going to cover everybody's question.
Michael, it's not going to cover everyone's question because by the time they see this part of the video, I would have already done the specific questions asked on Instagram. This is going to be the part at the end where everyone's like, do we want to see Michael? No, we don't. We hate Michael. Peace, love, and tranquility. Well, hey folks, welcome back. Hope you guys enjoyed the little Q&A, the other stuff we had in this video, and I hope you guys have kind of learned something or kind of like opened your eyes to know that diet is important for abs as well as training. But you got to focus on diet. Now, as much as abs are a cool goal for you to get, keep in mind that you typically will achieve a goal and then want something else. So get abs, see if you like it, but just know that all of you are awesome, even if you don't have abs. And a little fun fact for you guys is that even Pickering Fitness doesn't even have them on a daily basis. He has to try really hard to even get them to show. So everyone on social media, we're all flexing. No one has abs in real life unless they're doing some crazy drugs. But yeah, use this video as your kind of starting point or anything to like clear up any questions you had. With that in mind, let's go to my classic outro location when I'm in my house. Better lighting. Let's go over here. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Go get some abs. Go fix your diet. Go do some crunches. But as for right now, I only got one thing to say, guys. Peace, love, and tranquility.